and God denyo. Oh, what that dying.
Ya waleta matam sanga. Ya waleta matam sanga. Yabo.
This is the voice of the Patriot, where we speak truth to power. Now here we don't criticize, but if we must, it would only be on one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we keep saying we are in the service of God and country. This is the voice of the Patriot. Now today we have a number of issues we want to look at, and I need you to come along. Now the very first story we are looking at today is taken from Ghana Word, and it says many people do not wish President Mahama well. And this is a pollster and statistician Musa Dankwa speaking. Now, pollster Musa Dankwa has raised an alarm regarding a lawsuit against the Attorney General, which challenges the independent prosecutorial powers of the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Now, according to a post on December 10, 2025, he indicated that this legal challenge is a calculated maneuver aimed at undermining the OSP's ability to combat political corruption. Interesting times are ahead. Will the Attorney General mount a defense? The orchestration is more intense than apartheid. Many people do not wish Mahama well, and he must stay vigilant. It seems they despise the word autonomy. They want a political appointee to control the OSP, preventing the prosecution of political corruption. The agenda is clear, very, very clear, he stated. Now, my brother, my sister, this is so simple, isn't it? Now, Kwesi Pratt made it clear right from the start that the Office of the Special Prosecutor lacked some verve and luster. Now, Kwesi Pratt Jr. asked two very important questions. Number one, what is the purpose of the Office of the Special Prosecutor? To prosecute people against corruption, right? In other words, to fight corruption using the legal means, right? Number two, it has to be independent of the executive. The president and all the people around him forming the government is the executive. My brother, my sister, to fight against corruption. People who have been voted in and appointed by the president and the president himself, in fact, are liable to prosecution by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. But that very wonderful luster is lost if the president himself is the appointment body of the Special Prosecutor. Now, if the president is going to be kicked out, it's the same president we write to. And the president talks to the CJ. And right after the CJ is spoken to, the next thing is to found a certain committee that will sit together and look at the merit of the petition and then kick out the special prosecutor, right? My brother, my sister, Kwesi Pratt has always seen this as problematic. Now, Musa Dankwa is saying almost the same thing. Somebody has decided to sue the Attorney General. And the main purpose is not all about the Attorney General. It's about the Special Prosecutor. Why should the Special Prosecutor have so much autonomy to fight crime? For Musa Dankwa, this person is looking for a presidential appointee, a party member, to sit in the Office of the Special Prosecutor and allow corruption to fester. My brother, my sister, the office of the special prosecutor, many have said, is not that important. I think otherwise. I think it's very important, but it must be given all the powers, proper powers, not pseudo powers. The president should not be able to remove or appoint the special prosecutor. The special prosecutor should be very independent of the executive. As we said yesterday, a group could come together, a group of lawyers, a certain special committee could be put together, and their duty is to appoint or consider the removal of the special prosecutor. My brother, my sister, if that special body is out there, and we know that this is the body responsible for the appointment and the removal of the special prosecutor, then we know that this is an independent body, and this body will continue to be there even if they have political opposition against the office of the special prosecutor. Musa Dankwa thinks people are not looking for the welfare of the president. They want the president to fail. My brother, my sister, many more people want the president not to fail. They want the president to succeed. And when we all rally around the president and support the president, I am sure that we would have a better nation. Especially that it's now in the news that the president has actually been endorsed overwhelmingly to become the next AU chairman. That is in 2027. My brother, my sister, and this is overwhelmingly great. The ECOWAS Council of Ministers has endorsed President Mahama's candidacy for 2027 AU chair role, and it's published in almost all the credible news outlets. I think that is very, very positive for our country. President Mahama is overwhelmingly doing well, and all we can do is to support rather than pull him down. Everything leads to one direction, that the country is getting better. True or false? My brother, my sister, we have more stories coming up, and I like to deal with this from Ghana Web, which is shameful. How government begs for equipment yet spends millions on by-elections. And this is an NP talking. Now, the ranking member on Parliament's Defense and Interior Committee, Reverend John Ntimfojo, has taken aim at the government over what he describes as contradictory and wasteful expenditure choices, particularly regarding election reruns and the resourcing of national security agencies. Now, in a post on X on Friday, that's today, December 12, 2025, he questioned why the 2026 budget failed to allocate capital expenditure to the Ghana Immigration Service, while the state has committed substantial funds to buy elections within the same period. I'll leave it here. You know, we have some people whose duty is just to criticize, even if there's nothing to criticize. One of them is this unreverent, unpatriotic minister, this honorable. Remember, this was the same guy who said there was a big plane packed with drugs, money laundering, right here on our tarmac in Ghana. If a guy like this truly loved the image of Ghana and loved Ghana, even if this was true, he would have found a better way of communicating it to the authorities. But he went on radio and TV, the unreverent, unpatriotic, dishonorable that he is. He went around making noise. This was the same chaff MP who went around saying bad things about Ghana And when the authorities invited him to come for a dialogue, he refused to attend. They finally had to go after him. And when they went to arrest him, unpatriotic, dishonorable members of parliament on the side of the micro minority rushed to his aid. And they prevented the authorities from taking this dishonorable chaff MP away. It's sad. So what are the laws? We remember it was said that Afenyo Makin said he would deliver this man, hook, line, and sinker, to the authorities. They should just leave. In fact, that day they were ready to draw blood. They have tried it in parliament before, breaking the legs of tables and chairs. We saw that. Breaking microphones, squeezing each other's scrotums. Oh yes. My brother, my sister, what kind of parliament is this? Everything is opposed. They are not looking, especially the minority, at supporting the forward motion of the nation. Imagine what this guy is saying. Oh, they are spending so much money on election reruns as if it's President Mahama who is going around shooting and killing sitting MPs so that we could have reruns. People are dying naturally. The government that was on for 8 solid years was a demonic government. And the demons that they unleashed on us whilst they were here with us. In fact, though they try to exorcise the nation of those demons, some of them are still lurking around and they are taking lives away. The president is doing all he could to save this nation from sinking like the Titanic. Unreverend, unpatriotic, dishonorable, is so good at criticizing, never good at building. Somebody would have thought that a man who claims he's a man of God, a man who probably preaches in church and delivers people, would have first delivered his government of the theft and the corruption that they unleashed on the nation when they were in power. What happened to that cathedral? What did the unreverent, unpatriotic, dishonorable say about that cathedral? President Mahama is doing all he could. If there is a rerun, president cannot say don't rerun. My brother, my sister, it's a natural course anytime it comes. And Mahama, so far so good. Look, not only Ghana, he has been endorsed overwhelmingly at the ECOWAS meeting. Today I had the opportunity to speak with them all the way in Abuja. And trust me, it was overwhelming. They see President Mahama as the new light in the sub-region. Yet, we have dishonorables in this country who will be so petty. You had the eagle eyes to see a plane that was filled with drugs, yet you couldn't see that your government was stealing so much from the nation. People had money hiding in rat holes. Yes, their maidservants were stealing the money, and yet they couldn't even see because the money was too much. Your president came and exonerated all those people with those irresponsible remarks. The cathedral, you are supposed to be a man of God. What have you said about that demonic cathedral? All you are interested in is, oh, there's a plane full of drugs here. Oh, president is spending money on rerun, yet they cannot buy equipment for immigration. Has immigration told you that they are indispensed? Let's be serious for once, my brother. Don't just criticize because you have to. Criticize because there is something to criticize. And see it as a privilege that you are sitting in parliament. It could have been any other person. So you are not a teen god. Use your brains.
Turn,